Hello mailplusers, welcome back. It's 12:15, which means it's your favourite part of the afternoon. It's quiz time, and I bet you're chomping at the bit to get going. Don't worry, it won't be too long before we get the ball rolling. If you've not played before, I'm Melissa Hartzell, and I'll be your host throughout this instalment of cheery questions. So get those brains into gear, a cup of tea might soothe those nerves, and let's embark on this journey towards winning you a split of that £1,000 prize. But first, to keep it fair, let's do a once-over of the rules. I'll be asking you 10 multiple-choice questions from a variety of enjoyable categories. We want to test every iota of your knowledge base, so we'll be casting the net wide. As soon as the countdown clock starts, that 10 seconds will feel like 5, so you'll need to decide on your answer fast, because if you answer in time and get all 10 questions correct, a slice of that cash pie will be yours. And the less winners we have, the bigger the slice. If you come across a question you can't answer and get it wrong, you'll have to wait until next week. And as a forewarning, I must mention that there are not many games left. As lockdown gradually loosens, we'll be drawing this daily quiz to a close. We do hope that we've helped relieve some of the monotony of being stuck at home, but next week's 5 games will be our last for the time being. So if you haven't won, then do use the coming games as your final shot. Lastly, before you answer any questions today, please be cautious of those touch screens. Accidentally tapping the wrong answer will be a frustrating slip, especially with only a few games left, because once you've selected an answer, you can't change it. So keep those fingers under strict supervision. If you do slip up or you don't know a question, you're always welcome to play along until the end regardless and absorb the little factoids we've put in there for you. Right then, I think we're all set and ready to go. Let's see what the first question holds for you with question 1. What word describing a fine rain can also describe dripping liquid over food? Drizzle, shower, or drench? All of these feature heavily in a typical British summer as we run from building to building without an umbrella. You might distribute honey on your porridge this way, or perhaps olive oil onto your salad. It's drizzle. Well, that is unless the nozzle hasn't been put on properly, in which case that drizzle might turn into a drench. An easy one to start off with. Let's see what we have in store for you with question 2. What is the name of the cartoon character Yogi Bear's young sidekick? Barney, Boo Boo, or Baloo? We all love a good crossover episode, and Yogi featured in one himself. He and his sidekick briefly popped up in Bedrock in the episode Swedish Visitors of the cartoon The Flintstones, and his famous catchphrase was altered to, "I'm smarter than the average Fred Flintstone." Boo Boo is his sidekick, wearing his customary purple bow tie and acting as Yogi's guiding conscience, deterring him from trying to steal those picnic baskets, but often failing. It's question 3. The rough, strong form of which alcoholic drink is known as Scrumpy? Wine, ale, or cider? The earliest known alcoholic beverage consumed by humans was thought to be a mixture of fermented rice, honey, and hawthorn fruit juice. The residues of the drink date back to 7000 BC after being recovered from an early pottery found in the Yellow River Valley in China. Try ordering one of those at the pub tomorrow. Scrumpy is a form of cider, given the name because the apples looked scrumped up when they are dry and fermented. Cider, particularly in the West Country, was used as a replacement for water to baptize children because it was deemed purer than the running water they could find in the 14th century. And well done to 4,117 of you who are still with us and clearly like a good Scrumpy. We've got 7 questions to go, and they're going to get trickier, so don't take a mental breather just yet. We're on to question 4. On average, which of these are the same length? Your foot and your calf, your foot and your head, your foot and your forearm. The human body is full of mysteries, like yawning, for example, which scientists still wonder what it actually does for us. One theory is that we stretch our jaw muscles to increase blood flow to our neck, face, and head, or that it's an air conditioning system to cool down hot blood on the surface of the brain. Either way, why it's contagious, nobody knows. Another mystery is why the human foot is usually the same length as the forearm, but most of the time it is. A similar phenomenon is that the average person's arm span is also about the same as their height. give it a go. But if you've got your lunch on your lap, I suggest putting that somewhere safe first. Here's question 5. Who popularised the phrase, a real Bobby Dazzler? Del Boy, David Dickinson, or Fiona Bruce? The phrase has somehow made its way across the globe, becoming the title of a 1977 sitcom from Australia. And the term Bobby Dazzler here in the UK is used to describe anything remarkable or outstanding. The phrase was popularised by the host of the daytime TV show Bargain Hunt, David Dickinson. And although the origin of the phrase is still in dispute, some theories suggest that it was the Yorkshire response to the Cornish phrase, a real Morgan Rattler, to describe the same thing, something extraordinary. And we're Morgan rattling through these already halfway through. And well done to 1,795 of our players dazzling their way through to the next question. Sheila 0, Jamie, Roger 0, Frank 5, Anne 195. Well done for getting 5 right in a row. But 5 won't win you the money, so let's hope you get the next 5 right too. On to question 6. Which of these is not a type of sherry? Amontillado, Tawny, or Fino? Sherry is a fortified wine which comes exclusively from the Spanish region of Jerez. So exclusive that the producers have registered the names Jerez and Sherry so that other companies who use it can be prosecuted, much like champagne. Tawny is not a port. It's a type of sherry, but Amontillado and Fino are. Fino is the driest and palest variety of sherry, whereas Amontillado is a slightly more fortified version of Fino, with a darker colour to it and a nutty taste. It even has an Edgar Allan Poe short story written about it called The Cask of Amontillado. On to question 7. Which Rolling Stones song topped the charts around the time of the first moon landing in July 1969? Honky Tonk Women, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, or Harlem Shuffle? Along with the space landing, 1969 was a big year in pop culture. It was also the year the Beatles played their famous final public performance on the roof of Apple Records in London. The first Concorde test flight was conducted, and the Rolling Stones topped the charts with their song, Honky Tonk Women. The song was written by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards whilst on holiday in Brazil, inspired by the Honky Tonk Women, which was another name for the traditional Brazilian dancing girls. The single was released in the UK the day after the death of founding Rolling Stones member Brian Jones. Only 3 more questions to go. Here's question 8. Which of these foods has the most calories per 100 grams? Tofu, avocado, or salmon? Per gram, fat has the most calories with 9 calories per gram, closely followed by alcohol with 7 calories per gram. So that makes a night out quite calorific. Salmon here has the most calories per 100 grams, but not all high-calorie foods are bad for you because good fats like omega-3 found in salmon are vital for brain function. The brain is 60% fat after all, and the fattiest organ in the human body, which needs fat to help keep cells functioning efficiently. But as you've been told a million times before, I'm sure, everything in moderation. So let's see how we're doing. Ooh, that was a toughie. 252 of you went with salmon, but 240 thought it was tofu, and 386 went with avocado. Whew. So we have 252 players still in with a chance of winning a share of the cash pot. We're down to the 2 final topics, and fingers crossed they are 2 that you're an expert at. Let's move on to our penultimate question. Question 9. Which of these was not a bus driver in an animated TV series? Otto Man, James F. Blake, or Ms. Crabtree? Arguably the most famous animated bus on TV was the Magic School Bus that first aired in 1994 and ran for 3 years. In fact, just last week, a deal was signed to turn it into a movie with Elizabeth Banks starring as Miss Frizzle. The answer we're looking for is James F. Blake, who was the bus driver that Rosa Parks defied. Otto Man was the heavy metal-loving, frizzy, black-haired bus driver from The Simpsons, and Miss Crabtree, the loud-mouthed bus driver with a bird living in her hair from the cartoon South Park. And we've made it to the final question. Well done to 125 players for knowing your Simpsons and South Park characters. Good work to Greta, Mycock, Delco, Janet 6, Carol 3. You have a shot at the final question, and I'm sure you're raring to go, so let's get on with it. Here's question 10. Which of these is not a palindrome? Borrow or rob? Never odd nor even? Was it a car or a cat I saw? A real test now to see how fast your brain is working. A palindrome is a word or phrase that reads the same backwards as it does forwards. And in this case, it's never odd nor even, which doesn't. It's close though, but one letter is out of place. If you notice that, you've got a very keen eye for detail because it was hard to spot in 10 seconds. Congratulations if you got it right, because that's the end of the quiz, which means congratulations on winning. And we have 62 winners today. Well done. Congratulations to Delco, Mystic 18, Fragley, J1, Carol 3, Stratton and Ben 44, and of course to all our winners. Next week's games will be the final 5 installments of the mailplus Trivia Live. So if your friends, family or work colleagues wanted to give it a shot, now's your chance to tell them. We've had a fabulous time bringing the shows to you daily, and the last couple of months have seen over 35,000 people register to play and more than 2,000 people winning a share of the prize money. That's all for today. Let's see if next week you can get into the Winners' Hall of Fame. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend.